Hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history, and today I'm out here in Marion County, Georgia, and do you hear all of the cicadas? Do you hear them? This is the first year in 221 years that we're getting two brood of the 17-year and 13-year cicadas coming out in Georgia, and it's been crazy how loud they are. Totally different sound than our annual cicadas too. But on this video, we're going to be testing out our new Jeep a little bit more by taking it down this road that I found out here in Marion County, Georgia, whose name is literally Mud Road. With a name like that, we just have to go down it. Plus, maybe we'll find some history down this road. It already looks like an older road. As I was coming down here, I saw the banks are kind of high here. So this is an older road. It's been cut down over the years. If you saw the previous video that I did in Rough Edge, where I talked about old roads, you'll know that the deeper the embankments, generally the older the road is because it's been scraped and cut down like that. So pretty neat area already. We'll walk down here real quick and just look at this big old oak tree. This big old oak tree hanging on the side of the road right there. It really is just hanging on the side too. Look at how look at the root system on that. I guess that probably gives us some kind of idea too of how long this road has been cut down like this with those exposed roots like that. That's interesting. And right there is one of the culprits of all of the sound that we've been hearing. Unfortunately, this guy is he's done his singing. He's passed away. But there's one of these cicadas. All right, so let's get in the Jeep and see if this road lives up to its name. Mud Road. All right, so far so good on this little road. You can see the dirt is a different color down here in Marion County, Georgia. We don't have that real bright red clay that we do down in Talbot County. But there's still some red clay mixed into it, and it looks like we're getting into some of this road's namesake right here. That wasn't bad at all. Now dirt looks a little bit more like Rough Edge right through that patch. Some of the red clay. This is a really sandy county. We're down at the start of the coastal plain. So different kind of soils down here. People also ask a lot on our videos when they see a clear-cut area about what's going on there, and it's all logging operations. Like we can see right there, there's a logging operation down here in progress. And that's what so much of this land around here is that we see, especially the more rural parts, is all logging land. And it really dates back to the boll weevil. The boll weevil came through, and as it ruined a lot of farmers, financially speaking, the timber industry came in and bought the farms for pennies on the dollar, and it's been timber industry ever since the early 1900s. And one thing that I've come to realize after doing these videos, exploring the places that we have and doing the research that we've done, is that no matter how much it seems like we are in the middle of nowhere like it does today, it doesn't seem like there's ever been people here. There were early settlers here. There were people who had farms here, and prior, of course, to the timber industry. Pretty much every piece of land in every area that we go to, generally there was some kind of settlement there. So I think it's really interesting to think about when we see something kind of like we're looking at today, an area that just seems so desolate. You know, that there were people back here that came and went. So here's an area that's obviously been logged a few years ago, and the timber's starting to grow back. It's an interesting clump of trees right up there, though, that wasn't logged. It's kind of one of the things that we keep an eye out for, like for old home sites. You know, oh yeah, this is an old home site for sure. Look at that, there's the telltale sign right there. It's definitely an old home site here. I don't see that there's anything left of it though. It looks like they avoided cutting down the old oak tree here that used to stand in the front yard. And if we needed any more confirmation, here it is right here. The daffodils, these old bulb flowers. And they're still growing here many years after the home itself is long gone. And we found the house. I thought it was all gone, but no, it's still here. This was an old one too. Let's see if I can't get around to get a little bit better look. There it was. This was a pretty sizable house, actually. I'm trying to kind of get an estimate of the age by the construction here. I see a bunch of round nails, but that's all in the roof. And that tin is more modern. But that chimney over there looks pretty old. That looks like old plantation era handmade brick. But here is the house. There's the roof. The big beams on it make me think it's older too. And I think that's the old door frame right there. So it fell out this way. And again, as I was saying earlier, even though it seems we are in the absolute middle of nowhere, this right here was once someone's home, and it's just completely fallen in on itself. We're walking across the roof of it, and I wanted to do that to get a little bit closer look at this chimney here. Gotta watch out for nails and rotten wood. There's a wall of the house. So this house was board and batten. And board and batten wall right there. And there's the old chimney. So the chimney looks older than what I'm seeing in the construction of the house, but you know, each county is different with the way they were doing things at a certain period of time. This looks like that old, and it's that old handmade plantation era brick, which would generally put it anywhere from early settlement times, which is like 1820s, 1830s, 40s, you know, all the way up to probably about the 1860s. And generally by the 1870s, we see the more modern era kind of brick. And check out these huge field stones that this house is sitting on. Look at that old hand-hewn beams right there. That's another indication of some age on this place. But all I see are round nails, and round nails are all post 1880. Big old field stone right there. There's a little glimpse inside of the house. What a neat old place here. And you know, it just goes to show that once again, no matter how in the middle of nowhere you feel like you are, no matter how much it seems like people have never been here, people were here. They came and went. And the house is all still here. It's all right there. It's collapsed. And soon there'll be no sign of it. Maybe just some tin. We got to keep an eye out for wells. But maybe just some tin, but the plants will continue on. There'll still be roses blooming and daffodils. Whatever this plant is right here that's getting ready to do something, they'll continue growing. That's the kind of thing that gives us, you know, clues. And that's how we find things like this one. Had no idea that was back there. Had no idea there was the ruins of a house there. But the trees were the clue. So far Mud Road has paid off with finding cool stuff. And we got to keep going and see where the heck this comes out. Okay, driving through that with the top down, not such a good idea. I just got splashed. Oh, I just got splashed good. Mud on the outside, cool. Mud on the inside, mud on my face, not cool. So we definitely got another home site right here. And I'm looking to see if there's anything standing. But you can tell that this was a home site here from the plants that are growing here. There's kudzu, privet hedge, all invasive plants, all non-native plants. And the kudzu's really eaten this place. So there was definitely a home site here. And we're not that far down the road from the other one, so you know, maybe a little farm community or something was back here. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything standing. It's like everything, all the old home site growth is just on the edge of the road, and behind it's all been thoroughly cleared for the timber industry. More old home site plants right here reaching out and trying to grab us. It's old wisteria. And this road's getting tight and narrow here. It's hard to believe this is still a county road, but it is. But it is a sloppy one, that's for sure. I'm seeing a lot more evidence of homesite plants throughout here. Check out these embankments. That's a home site right here. It's covered in wisteria. Absolutely covered in it. Cicadas sure are singing out here. So I just stopped right below where we passed that obvious home site from all the plant growth there, which is right there on that hill. But look at this. This whole wash right here. Look at that. It's just eroded away. That's pretty neat. That's from years and years of water just coming off of this road. You can see where it comes off this road, works its way down there, and has cut that and kept on going down. Now back up here is the old home site. And it's just it's a wisteria. I see chinaberry, and then do have some older oaks there, and all these bulb flowers coming up through there. It's impenetrable from all the wisteria. And I hope you guys can hear the cicadas well on video, because they are loud out here. Yeah, this is just a dense, impenetrable wisteria jungle right here. I don't think we're going to be as lucky here and actually see any home ruins. You can see there's an old cedar tree in their yard. Old cedar knocked over right there. And it's kind of eroded away, but I think that, look at the wisteria vines crawling up the trees. You know, it's kind of eroded away, but I think we are where the home was. I think that's the chimney pile over there. This is super dense through here. This is definitely some wisteria woods. I think there's where the home would have been. We got to make sure we keep an eye out for any kind of well, but as we try to make our way through this. Oh man. Yeah, probably here is where the home would have been. It's nice and flat here, but if there's any ruins left, if there's a chimney still standing, we're not going to be able to see it. It's just way too thick through here. Whew. Yeah. So the home site was somewhere up in here. Can't see any ruins of it. There's always a possibility it's over here too, because that's the same wisteria, or it could have been right here where they the loggers have cut a road through. There's no telling for sure, but we know that this was another home site from the plants that are left over. It hasn't been cut right here. So all of these old plants have continued to just grow and grow and grow here, and probably completely hide the ruins of the old home there. But it's interesting to see that we've seen the ruins of one house and like 2 or maybe even 3 old home sites out here in an area that today is in the middle of nowhere. So at a certain point in time when you are exploring an old road like Mud Road, and that is the stuff that I absolutely love to do, is just go find back roads and just go explore them. So at a certain point in time of doing that, you're driving down one of these old roads that is in the middle of nowhere, and you begin to ask yourself, is this road ever going to end? And then you come up on something like this. This isn't a mud puddle here, guys. This is not a mud puddle. This is a county road, and they just didn't see fit to put a bridge here. You know, they said, we don't need a bridge. We don't need a culvert pipe. We'll just, you know, let the creek run across the road. And that's what this is. This is old water crossing. This creek here is just running right across this road from this old beaver pond in the woods. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to drive the Jeep through it or not. So, you know, I mean, it's a Jeep. That's what it's for. But it's, okay, I guess it's not that deep. I guess I'm going to do it now that my feet are wet anyway. We'll have our, you know, inaugural water crossing in the Mojave here. I think I might have ordered the wrong Jeep. This one says desert rated. We ain't in the desert. Okay. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't like going through stuff and I don't know how deep it is. So I'm going to have to just see how deep that is first. This is a county road that has this creek running through it. And so it's obviously, you know, passable, but we've had a lot of rain the past couple days. So this may be just a tiny little creek most of the time rather than this big lake that it is now. So I'm gonna see how deep this thing is first. It just get wet here. I mean, that's pretty deep. It's up to my knees, but I mean, it ain't that deep. That's some good feeling water too right there. See, out here in Marion County, Georgia, you ain't got to take the road to the creek. The creek is in the road. So I don't know. You don't have to take the road to the creek. The creek takes the road to you. That's what it is. See, I told y'all that wasn't going to be bad. I don't know what you were worried about. We're in a Jeep, you know, and it's desert rated, and we're in the sand. So, you know, we got this. So according to my GPS, we're like 700 feet. 700 feet from a paved road. And of course, got a big, nasty, rutted out spot in the middle of the road. Let's do our check. Is that an old abandoned church up there? I think it is. Let's do our check first. That stuff is sloppy, but we shouldn't get stuck up here. Yeah, it doesn't look that deep. We shouldn't look at someone else who's walking through here barefoot, other than me. Like, we're real close to the county road, the paved road. And there's just this little abandoned farm right here. Maybe someone still uses the barn, but it's still got power, but the house looks abandoned. I thought it was a church at first. Okay. Let's try not to get stuck in this nastiness here. Yeah, see? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I guess I keep forgetting it's a Jeep, you know? All right, we're almost at the paved road, so we got to go find our next place of adventure. Pretty cool old barn and old abandoned house here, though. Oh, I thought it was a white Jeep. It's not white anymore. It's kind of sickly yellow. I think that we're definitely putting the adventure into this adventure into history. On to the next dirt road. All right, so we're back down another dirt road. However, we're definitely in the sandy area now. Everything's been dry and going good. Let's see the difference in the road here. Ain't nothing but sand down here. But so I've actually seen this house before, and I think somebody has come out here and done the wrong thing and stolen some wood from it. I mean, you know, maybe someone had permission to do that, or maybe not. This used to be board and batten sided, and the battens have been pulled off of it. The last time I was here, this wall was intact. Now you can see where someone's cut it away, and it looks like, well, just pulled some of the siding down there, and then cut that siding away, and that's pretty fresh. Someone also cut out some of the interior wall right there. But this is just another old tenant farmer house, probably early 1900s. We've kind of seen this era of stuff before. And it looks like someone was using it to store corn at one time, because it sure is full of corn husks. I reckon the rats actually ate all the corn, though. But what a neat old place right here, just on the side of the road. Another old dwelling of somebody's long ago. Is that a railroad tie? I think they used a railroad tie in the fireplace. I just had to get a closer look at that. Look at that right there. I believe that this is an old, yeah, that's an old railroad rail that they used for the fireplace right there. This is probably the kitchen. You can see an old wood burning stove flue right there. This is a cool old place, and definitely it's a good example of people kind of just using what they had right there for that fireplace and that chimney. What a neat old place. And if you kind of compare the brick that I pointed out earlier to this brick, if we get kind of a close look at it, you see this is more like 1870s, 1880s, early 1900s brick versus that old plantation era brick I showed in the beginning of the video. So just another cool piece of history found while out adventuring, exploring old back roads. And again, somewhere where people lived long ago. People had family and lives in places like these. And now they're abandoned and sometimes forgotten about. But I'm going to take you back up the road. This is the Tenant farmer house, and I think I found the main farmer house. So I want to show that to you as well. So while we drive back up the road, I'll jump back in real quick to a little bit more on this Jeep and kind of the review and the lessons learned today. So I took this through a lot of muddy roads, probably more than you even saw on this video. And while none of it was real bad, there was some, there was some kind of interesting stuff to get through. I was never afraid I was going to get stuck, of course. But one big lesson that I learned today is not a great idea to be driving through all these muddy, nasty, water-covered roads with the top off. It's so cool to have the top off and drive around, but if you don't want mud on the inside of your vehicle or on you, then you should probably leave it up. Actually, I drove through a big mud puddle that was nothing but standing water. It was even bigger than that creek we crossed through, and the water came up and all of it went inside of the Jeep. A bunch of water came in here and I got pretty soaked from it. But I also think that I lost one of my microphones in that. The microphone took a heavy hit from the water, and now it's not functioning anymore. So the definite lesson here is that we should not drive with the top down with sensitive camera equipment. So we saw the Tenant farmer house down the road, and I think that this is the site of the main farmhouse over here. There's some kind of outbuilding that's in the woods fallen over right there. But if you look, and you're gonna have to look hard, you're gonna have to look real hard in these woods, maybe you can see a little bit of a tin roof. Now this one is clearly posted and it's further off the road, so we're not gonna be able to get a real good look at it, but I'll show it to you as best as I can. This one is painted. It's obviously a nicer house than the one that we just looked at. Just peer your eyes through the woods over there, and I think you might be able to make a little bit of it out. Looks like a bigger 3-4 room, probably about a 4-room old farmhouse. And so that right there is probably the main house for this farm, however large a farm it was back then. And then Tenant farmer house down there, and there were probably other Tenant farmer houses as well. But that one is super cool. Maybe I'll be able to get permission to take a closer look at that one day. I would love to. It looks like a lot of history there too, and such a neat find to see abandoned down here. There's also another outbuilding in the woods there. So just kind of look close and just peer through the woods in there, and maybe you can see it beckoning for us to go on another adventure into history there one day, if I can get permission. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on another adventure into history, hopefully with both microphones working. I'm gonna have to get a bag of rice or something, or I'm gonna have to find some money and order another one, because we got to hear Dan talk too, All right guys, we'll see you next time.